Welcome back, lecture 12. If you remember, or perhaps if you have seen previous lecture 11, we talk about the difference between um, nowhere and uh, nowhere and someone who are knowledgeable. The basic fundamental difference between knowledge and nowhere, someone who has the knowledge perhaps is someone who lives in space and time and who went through educational training. That means he started his accumulating knowledge from elementary to higher education. The nowhere, basically, he takes another path which is different than someone who are knowledgeable. Nowhere, the path he takes it is basically the path of meditation, and meditation basically is watching your thoughts and be silent. So basically, both are they are totally different at all because there's a different path that you take both these two things. Nowhere basically is it will take you beyond space and time, and you experience a wisdom. I mean, you understand the meaning of life, because now you're letting your own energy experience itself, and that is really very, very difficult. And nowhere basically is a very lonely journey, because society, they didn't take that path, because obviously society cannot take that path, because this path is an individual path. You have to take yourself, and you have to experience the conscience yourself, because this path is a path in which you design yourself, because every individual has his own unique path to follow. Eventually the goal is the same, because you experience in consciousness and enlightenment, or perhaps awareness. But knowledge is very simple, because society will train you to become a knowledgeable person, and by the time you were born until now, you have been training yourself, or perhaps society was training you to become a knowledgeable person. At the same time, the society will give you a lot of things along the line while you're growing. It will give you a religion. It will give you a culture, and a lot of things. And you grow up with all these things. With I believe perhaps to me is all kind of a garbage stuff. And that becomes for you to become blind, going to the other path, which is a meditation path, which is a nowhere path, because this is where you need to go. But unfortunately, we happen to be living in a society in which they have happened to follow a path in which is absolute, totally wrong path. But yet we are here in civilization, living in this modern time, which is, you can say, is a civilized society, but I don't think so. It's a civilized, because when one is ignorant himself, you cannot call society civilized, because I believe a society who are advanced is a society in which individual knows his own consciousness, because that is where you become aware of your own existence, your own God, your own awareness, your own consciousness, your enlightenment. But what I'm trying to help you basically is that for you to not to have this egoistic system, to think that you know something. Perhaps the more knowledgeable you are, the more you understand that you are far away from understanding the nature of the reality of the self. Because knowledge is just a literature, is a literature accumulated along line in civilization. For example, we may have a knowledge of 6,000 years knowledge, or 10,000 years knowledge, and we cannot go beyond that, because whatever beyond that we don't know. Our memory goes far distance to at least 15,000 years. After that, we don't know what had happened in civilization and society, and we don't know where we came from. And that's how the knowledge can be very limited, because this earth has existed billions of years, and billions of years there's a billion society has been live in this wonderful earth, and we don't know the history of those civilization has been in this earth. The only thing that we know basically is the knowledge of the last 15,000 years. So therefore, knowledge is very limited. But once you become a meditate person, and you understand the nature of your consciousness, then really you are beyond space and time. You understand that the only thing that we are here is simply to experience the ecstasis, what I call a great orgasm with a cosmic oneness with the self, oneness with the nature of the universe. And then you become very, very wise. You're not moving with a society and civilization. You become an individual who has his own dignity, who has a vast wisdom of understanding your own consciousness. So the far deeper that you go to yourself, the far you understand the society and civilization. In fact, the farther you understand yourself, the more you meditate yourself, you understand within yourself, the more you understand your fellow brother and sister, fellow human being. Because others is the same like you. They're not different. But you can understand their pain, you can understand their situations when you go deeper to yourself. So, my dear friend, it is essential, in fact, for you to understand one of the greatest inventions of all time, because there's people have been meditating for 1,000 years ago, or 5,000 years ago, when Buddha was here in this earth. These people, they are people who have dedicated themselves to experience what this energy is all about, and they have understood the consciousness is the only thing that we're here to experience. So now, my friend, you gotta understand that you're here to experience your own consciousness, not for you to become a rich, or become a famous, or become someone powerful. That's not the case. That's only a society, a game they play. So you don't want to lose yourself, what society demanded from you to be. But as an individual, you have to understand that the only thing that you need to be is for you to experience your own consciousness. We will be discussing more about the knower and knowledge, and hopefully I will help you for you to understand, because this is essential. In the meantime, have a good time. I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.